Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing the Blancpain Leman Reveil GMT. It is all of those things. An alarm and a GMT. This might be the most versatile watch that Blancpain makes. And a high horology hidden gem, if I may say so. Let's take a look at the case, which is white gold, 40 millimeters in diameter, 13.8 millimeters thick, nice and short, 44.8 millimeters lug tip to lug tip, with a surprisingly broad and very modern 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, the standout feature of the watch is its super short lug-to-lug dimension that allows it to wear on a much smaller wrist than you'd expect. This watch is wearable on a wrist as small as 13.5 to 14 centimeters circumference, and while it is not a thin watch, it is fairly slim with a double gadroon stepped bezel that will allow a dress sleeve to ride up over its side with consummate ease. The strap is a large rectangular scale alligator leather, black, some bolstering to give it thickness. There's a sheer cut side, a monotone black stitch. On the underside, a rubberized inlay to help isolate the leather from the moisture, sweat, heat, and grit of the wrist. It also feels silky, smooth, and comfortable. And you can see this is a brand new Blancpain factory strap. Taking a quick look at the buckle. This is a deluxe piece. Internally, a combination of a leaf spring and then the remainder of the chassis in white gold. I believe the leaf spring is in titanium, and then the actual chassis and the folding components are all in white gold to match the case. The leaf spring ensures that this mechanism pops shut with alacrity, and when you draw it past a certain point, it also pops open. It's a very simple and secure system. And as you can see, the chassis portion is actually curved to match the underside of your wrist. The watch is simple and strong. You'll recognize this basic case on everything from the Villeray dress watches to the 50 Fathoms. We have a polished, rounded case. We have lugs that are pretty starkly broken out from the case band. This isn't a Calatrava-like blended lug arrangement. Everything's of high polish for a glossy premium gleam. And then you can see there's a teardrop undertuck to each lug with a little hole, a perforation, so you can use your strap tool to remove the strap. We have several different crowns. We may as well talk about what all of them do. The simplest one is down at 8 o'clock. It is the stop-start for the alarm on-off. You can see that little on-off display. This allows you to cycle between alarm armed and disarmed. And of course, like all the crowns, once you have used it and it served its purpose, you can screw it down so it's secure. The watch is 100 meters water resistant. Now separately, I have a crown that allows me to set the time. Note that the 24-hour hand is moving in sync with the remainder of the hands, the minute hand and the hour hand. And take a look at the second sub-register. This watch does feature hacking or stop seconds, so you have the ability to set this watch against a reference time. For some reason, that is not universal with high horology watches. Take a quick look at the power reserve indicator. The power reserve is for the alarm, and you wind it using the crown that is up at 2 o'clock. A quick look at how the rest of this mechanism operates. There is a clutch position that allows you to move the local hour hand independently. Now down at 4 o'clock, we have a hand that allows the setting of the alarm. So the alarm cannot distinguish between AM and PM. That's why it has this system for arming and disarming. So you can leave your alarm wound up and charged, and you don't have to worry about it waking you up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. if you have a 2 p.m. appointment set. Now take a quick look at the lume on this watch because it is very generous. Just about everything except the secondary time zone hand features luminescent glow. So there's a lot going on here, including sub-registers, including the alarm time, including alarm power reserve, and alarm armament status. The indices, as well as the hands and the numerals, all polished 18 karat white gold. The dial is a soft opaline silver base. Now what's fascinating about this watch is that unlike most alarm watches, the automatic winding system can wind both the time-telling mechanism, that is the drivetrain and the mainspring barrel, but it can also wind and arm the alarm. Another reason why you have this on-off toggle, because even if you let the watch run out and you let the alarm run to term and expire, it will slowly regenerate itself as you wear it. So this can arm itself if you allow it to wind with the bell selected. It's a very great convenience to know that your alarm will replenish itself. You just want to make sure that you use this on-off toggle to your advantage. Now the scale for the power reserve as well as the on-off status, beautifully polished, and again, all of this is white gold, but it's rhodium plated white gold. That's often applied to give white gold a glossy shine on watch dials. We have skeletonized hands for the hours and the minutes to make it easier to read the dial base. And then we have on the reverse side the lovely caliber 1241H. This movement originally launched back in 2003. It was designed by Frédéric Piguet, which today is manufacturer Blancpain, and it is beautiful. You'll appreciate the fact that this watch features immense amounts of broad mirrored beveling, and you can see it on the edge of the rotor, but also on the edge of the bridges. It is genuinely beautiful, and while it is probably started by mechanical means, it's finished artisanally, which means it has a glossy, rounded gleam, distinctive of the best high horology watches. We have Geneva waves, or Côte de Genève, across the rotor, as well as the bridges. We have solarization on many of the wheels, and you can also see, in addition to solarization on the steel wheels, the gilded brass wheels. Those are all satinated with a circular satin pattern. We have both polished screws and fired blue screws. This watch includes both, and you can't see it well. There is engine turning on the base plate. The watch features a anti-magnetic silicone hairspring and a free-sprung architecture for the balance, and it beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It is adjusted in the high horology standard of 5 positions. It all pivots on 38 joules, and it is a beautifully executed movement. My favorite feature is this mirror beveled and then black polished striker. It has a minute repeater-like striker, and it is the most artisanally finished element of the entire movement, which blends machine finish with hand finish in seamless fashion. I would actually rate it higher than the likes of F. Pigeon or Audemars Piguet in that regard. This is a lot closer to what you're going to get from Lange and Vacheron. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details, and take note, the power reserve for the alarm is enough to sound for about 25 seconds. The power reserve for the movement is sufficient to power the watch for 45 hours.